Anders from NKB.
Hey, Anders.
We talked about it a bit earlier today. The penetration of Facebook. What does that actually mean in the large scale?
Yeah.
And when
So
time
Facebook is, it's funny. Anders and I were actually talking about this earlier today. Facebook, even when I wrote Cognitive Surplus, which was largely in 2009, it was still possible to imagine that Facebook could be disciplined by the market. That in the same way that 6 Degrees was replaced by Friendster, which was replaced by MySpace, which was replaced by Facebook as the kind of most prominent social network, it was possible to imagine that something else could come along and do that again if Facebook got to essentially started reneging on promises to its users. And I now don't think that anymore. I don't think that Facebook can be disciplined by the market. I think it is so big that it has effectively become a utility, not just a service. The value of this is that it is in a way the first truly global medium that people are in an almost literal way connected in that 6 degrees of separation network from here to Botswana. The downside of that is that we don't have a public sphere. We have a corporate sphere that tolerates public speech. And the degree to which the management decisions of a single company affect a global medium with significant political consequences for conversation makes me nervous, not as a customer or a consumer of Facebook, but as a citizen of the democratic world and someone who aspires to see democracy spread more widely than it is. I don't know what the answer to that is. In the United States, we have less of a tradition of regulating media companies around these kinds of issues than exist in Europe. But if Facebook can't be disciplined by the market, then effectively government regulation is what's coming. I think Germany has already kicked this off around privacy. But even if it's hard to articulate the solution, I think the problem is pretty clear, which is Facebook is irreplaceably, unthreatenably important, and because it's committed to the advertising market, its commitment to freedom of speech is not as core to its set of values as with the rise of newspapers, which also had to bridge this commercial and public function, but which had a much greater commitment to the public side of the house.
Well, they said that Titanic couldn't sink either.
Yes. Well, no, I could be wrong. And look, if I'm wrong, this would be happy news, because in a way, the threat of another company displacing something like Facebook would keep Facebook essentially more attentive to its users. But I think 2 years ago I would have said exactly that Titanic line, but I don't see how a competitor could emerge. And that's new, and not just around commercial companies in our little end of the 21st century. That is new in the history of the internet.